Hello, everyone. This is Mrs. Hendry, and I wanted to go over some resources with you that I selected using all of my resource evaluation knowledge, which I've been working on for many years and still work on it today. My goal is always to find the most reliable information so that I can use it in my research, use it in my writing, and use it in just gaining general knowledge for myself so that I can speak about things with other people and know what I'm talking about. So these are some resources in this wakelet that relate to energy, renewable energy, and chemistry. There are videos, there are websites, there are articles from the Gale databases. I selected some and I was able to put the links right in here for you. So even though I selected these for you, I want you to be on the lookout for a few things. Always check the date it was published to make sure it's recent enough to be reliable. Always check the author's credentials and make sure you feel good about it. Now, I did some of that as I was looking at these, but I'm not going to say that I didn't put something in here that I wanted to just test you on to see if you noticed it might not be that reliable. Always watch for bias. Authors of articles are humans, and although they may have done some really deep research and have provided plenty of evidence that their information is accurate, they may be biased and they may be leaning in a direction or including some information that they believe that is not necessarily proven by their research. So always be careful and look for that. So I'm going to take you into one of these databases. Actually, I linked articles, websites, articles, videos, so you don't even have to do the searching. I have another video about how you can search databases for articles that you're interested in, so maybe you'll get to see that sometime. But for now, let's just say I opened this one up and I'd like to decide whether to use it. First of all, like I said, I check the date. I look to see who it's from, what the publisher is. I don't know much about this publisher, so I'm not sure about that. But I will tell you that this came from Gale, and it was in as a academic journal article. Okay, so I can scroll to the bottom quickly to take a look at the citation. Now notice there's a citation here. APA is usually what we'll use for science most of the time, I think, but there's MLA as well. But we can take a look and try to decide how we feel about it, and we can read it, and that's another way for us to determine reliability. So anyway, let's just say that this is the article you've decided to work with, okay? Your teachers are probably giving you some information about what they want you to do with it. They may want you to highlight some things and take notes. So I just want you to understand that in Gale, you can highlight as you go, take your notes here, save them. You can change the colors of the highlights and all of that before you save it to the Google Drive. That can be a little dangerous if you're having Wi-Fi issues. Or if your computer dies in the middle. You don't want to lose this article. So you have a couple options. You can either save it right away to Google Drive and take notes in Google, or you can do your note taking now and then save it at the end. So I've shown you how to highlight and take notes. I showed you where the citation was. You can play with some of these tools to make it easier to read and so forth. But what I recommend you do eventually, sooner or later, whichever you decide, is send it to your Google Drive. And once it's in your drive, you will be able to open it up and work with it. So this is just wonderful. I have a messy Google Drive because I do this a lot, and so you really should take some time. If you're starting a project where you're going to be collecting articles, it's a good idea to give yourself a folder and name it after the project, and that way you can drag the articles in. But here is the article I just looked at in Gale, and now it's in my Google Drive. You can see my highlight is there, and the notes I took will be at the bottom of the document next to the citation, okay? So that is an example of how you can take an article, make sure it's reliable, and work with it in your Google Drive. And you can do this with any type of article or website, but to work with it in your Google Drive, of course, you may have to copy and paste the article from a website to paste in. Gale makes it very easy for us to put it right in our Google Drive.